Now let's hop on to another segment. So far tonight, we have talked about America's heat wave, security concern inside the US Supreme Court, and embassy operation in West Asia. Now, let's come much closer to home. Can you imagine you are an Indian border security officer on a routine patrol? It seems like an ordinary day for you. Suddenly, you notice a man trying to cross into Nepal. You ask him to stop. Instead, he reportedly tries to run. Well, that's exactly what happened near the India-Nepal border in Uttar Pradesh. Security personnel, they detained a 36-year-old man who identified himself as Jordan Brown, claiming to be a US citizen from California. But there was one major problem. According to authorities, he was not carrying a passport or a visa or any valid travel document. During questioning, Brown, he reportedly told the investigators that he had earlier traveled to Thailand, where he lost his passport. He also claimed that he had once served in the US Navy. In fact, according to the police, he then traveled through Sri Lanka before entering India by sea in November 2025, and he had been living in Goa for several months. Can you think about that for a moment? A person claims to be an American citizen, claims to be a former US Navy officer, he claims to have traveled through several countries, and is finally stopped while trying to enter Nepal illegally without any identity documents. Now, naturally, that raises several questions. Who is he? Is his story accurate? Was he traveling without documents? And how did he remain in India for maybe months without a proper passport? Indian police says that they are now verifying all his claims. Officials have registered a case against the Immigration and Foreigners Act, and the investigation is continuing. During the search, authorities also recovered cash and 2 mobile phones from his possession. Now, this whole case, it reminds us of something very, very important here. Borders are not just lines on the maps. They are one of country's first line of security. Every day, border forces, they stop thousands of people for routine checks. Most crossings are completely legal, but sometimes one unusual traveler, one missing document, or one suspicious moment, it can trigger a much larger investigation. Now let's travel from Washington to West Asia. Can you imagine spending weeks preparing for your US visa interview? You collect your documents, you book your appointment, you arrange your travel, and then suddenly you receive a message saying that your appointment has been cancelled. Well, that's exactly what happened to many applicants in the United Arab Emirates. Ladies and gentlemen, the US Embassy in Abu Dhabi and the US Consulate in Dubai temporarily cancelled all the consular appointments through July 15th, citing wider regional security conditions. Applicants were instructed not to visit the embassy or consulate, and they were told that they would receive new appointment details directly. Well, emergency assistance for the US citizens that continues through designated channels. In the meantime, officials have not linked the whole move to one specific incident. Instead, they pointed to the broader security environment in West Asia. Routine visa processing also remains suspended until further notice, while emergency service continue to operate under adjust staffing arrangement. Now, this particular decision, it may sound administrative, but it tells us a much bigger story. Diplomatic missions are often among the first institutions to adjust the operations when security conditions become uncertain. Embassies constantly assess risks, they monitor local developments, and when necessary, they do shift staffing level or maybe public services to protect both the employees and the visitors. Now, for thousands of people waiting for visas, this particular thing means uncertainty. Business travelers, students, families, professionals, they may all have to wait longer before their applications move forward. It is another reminder that geopolitical tension often affect ordinary people first. Sometimes through cancelled flights, sometimes through delayed visas, sometimes through travel advisories. Well, the impact of international politics, that's not always seen on the battlefield. Often, it is felt by people standing in the queue, waiting for a document or hoping to begin a new chapter in their lives.